This time we'll be discussing some of the changes and updates in the characters for SSBU and how I think they may affect the meta. First things first, there are 65 confirmed characters for this game, and many more to come. Sakurai said we shouldn't be expecting many more, but I think he's showing his classic troll, and we should actually expect this to be the most diverse and unique Smash Bros. To date. Veterans. Me going over every single of the huge 65 character cast would be ridiculous, so I'm going to eliminate most of them with one sentence. Almost every single one of these characters is incredibly similar to their Smash 4 counterparts. That's a big statement, and it's not totally true, because every character has their own individual changes, and each veteran fighter has something special about them, but for the most part they are very similar, and they're not who I'm going to be focusing on today. Something worth noting for all of the veteran fighters, though, is that they've breathed new life into all of them, and they've polished them extensively. They show this with DK and a little bit of the other characters like Wii Fit Trainer, as you can see here. The game is much more expressive and active than Smash 4, and as an extension of that, it's much better looking, in my opinion. This is shown not only with the expressions of the characters, but also with the renders. I mean, look at them. Every character looks so much more dynamic, and this is a very welcome change to the comparatively plastic-looking characters from Smash 4. This is especially evident with Wii Fit Trainer. I'll be covering each of the returning characters that got dropped off at one point or another, along with all of the revamped characters. Melee's up first. Melee. Pichu. This is a prime example of the animation and expression being upgraded in this game. Just look at how lively Pichu looks. This is a character with a lot of love put into it, rather than a smaller Pikachu like his appearance in Melee. As you can see here, most of his moves are changed in ways, probably to separate him from Pikachu, because he is not an Echo Fighter. Pichu is his own character. Most notably his F-tilt and some of his aerials. These small changes will change up his entire gameplay, making him more combo-centric. That's because, combined with his speed, the movement options available in SSBU, and his weaker hits will allow him to follow up with his punishes. Link. Link's new look is from the newest Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, and he is stunning. His primary changes seem to be with his specials, as his normals are relatively similar to how they used to be. Most notably with his specials, he has the double arrow, the remote bomb, the sword strike, and going on with other things, he has no claw shot grab. And something worth noting is his final smash is the ancient arrows, which kind of looks pretty cool. The double arrows are going to allow him to have more stage control, and that stage control will be even more used with his remote bomb. This is huge for Link's meta, now letting him to completely own the stage, something akin to Snake's planted bombs. The lack of a claw shot grab means that he can actually use his grab game, which is great because a lot of his combos come from it. And hopefully with the movement options available in Super Smash Bros. Universe, he'll be able to optimize on those. Finally, we have his sword strike, which there isn't a lot of footage of it, but when Link is at 0%, he has another projectile. And it seems like it could be useful, but I don't know how powerful this tool will be. Only time will tell. Young Link. The young boy is back and in HD for the very first time. He's representing his Majora's Mask game, and his moveset is very similar to his previous iterations, along with past Link. In my opinion, this is a very good thing, because with the new Breath of the Wild Link, we don't have what the old Link, the Brawl, or Melee Link really were. So young Link representing that, along with his new revamped self, I think is a great step forward. He has some new moves like his rapid jabs, but what I think is great and is shown here, he has this great forward aerial connection after his up throw follow-ups. I think this shows that Young Link has some great combo potential and will be very viable in the meta, despite being a smaller Link. Zelda and Ganon. These two are put together because they both have revamped looks, one from Ocarina of Time and the other from Link Between Worlds. But this is the first time we've seen all different Zelda characters having different games being represented. With Toon Link, we have Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time's Ganon, Majora's Mask Young Link, Breath of the Wild's Link, and with Zelda representing Link Between Worlds. This shows the age of one of Nintendo's oldest franchises. Zelda's moves are more or less the same, except their applications are going to be completely different, especially with how fast she is now. And it's worth noting Ganon now has a sword. This gives him a little bit of extra range, as well as the added bonus of his ability to use the action out of dash. This is a very powerful tool, especially with the range his forward smash will be able to give him. Brawl. Ice Climbers. I got a few requests to cover Ice Climbers, so I'll be putting these beloved retro characters at the front of this Brawl list. And oh my, do they look good. Surpassing my expectations, every single one of their moves look clean and their renders are jaw-dropping. My favorite is how their ice is textured. It's crazy how these two look, but what I think is going to make them even crazier is their desyncs. For those who don't know, desyncing, like in this melee set I'm going to be showing, is when two ice climbers are using different moves at the same time, and you can do this a couple different ways, mostly by wave dashing or rolling, which lets them use combos and chain grabs that they would have otherwise had no chance of being able to do. In Melee, they were very gimmicky in what they were able to do, especially being the only character that was, well, two characters, and they did it well. And in Brawl, which admittedly I don't know too much about, but they had a lot of chain grabs, and their desync setups in both games were absolutely insane, being high tier in Melee and top tier in Brawl. With SSBU's action out of dash, wave landing, and their kind of pseudo wave dash, I'm positive that the Icies will be able to desync, and will be able to utilize their desyncs. It'll be interesting to see them back in the meta, especially up against the newer characters like Cloud or Villager, or even Bayonetta. In this game, which has been confirmed by people who've got to try the game out, desyncs are possible, but chain grabs are not. I don't know how well we can trust this information because we haven't gotten the chance to explore and experiment the possibilities of Nana and Popo, but if their desyncs are possible and there are some good desync combos, Ice Climbers will return with a vengeance. Something observable that we can see in the different trailers and gameplay that we've seen is that Nana is unable to grab completely. That does weaken their grab game a little bit, but what makes it even worse is when Popo has been grabbed, Nana literally can't do anything. She starts getting scared and freaking out, and these are two very small but huge character changes, and I think we'll see the effects of this in their meta. Pokemon Trainer. Each of the characters are new and interesting while retaining the old spirit that they had. Charizard is no longer his own character, which will feel a little odd to all two of you Charizard mains, but I think this time around Pokemon Trainer will be a force to be reckoned with. Now, there are no gimmicks with switching out, there's no punishment for staying as the same Pokemon, and switching out is several times faster than it once was. These are very, very welcome changes, making Pokemon Trainer no longer a waste of a character slot like he was in Brawl. Sure, he was a cool character, but especially competitively, he had no uses. With those negative parts of Pokemon Trainer being gone, and new better ones coming in, like the faster switching, the switching mid-air, and the iframes that you get when you're switching Pokemon Trainer is much more competitively viable. Their movesets are very similar to their Brawl versions, but with a few exceptions, but the mechanics of each character have been reworked, so the application for every single move is going to be completely different. This is a point that I've been bringing up a lot, but it's very important because every single character has something new about them, so their combo game, their neutral game, their movement options, everything is going to change based on these small, subtle changes. Snake. No one was expecting Snake, and when he showed up we were stoked, but now that he's here we should be cowering in fear. His showing in the Invitational showed a little bit of what he's capable of, and even though his moves are more or less the same as Brawl, with a few changes in his up B and his extended charging forward smash, his combo game, his kill potential, and most importantly his stage control, especially with the movement options available to us in Smash Bros. Universe, Snake is a killer character. Unfortunately, there isn't too much we can talk about Snake, especially since his changes are very small and subtle. He has a new series icon, but unfortunately there isn't too much we can say about him. Wolf. Following the trend of Snake, there isn't too much we can say about Wolf, especially because we didn't get to see much of him. He looks awesome and his moves are all upgraded according to Daddy Sakurai, which is something to look forward to. He looks clean and deadly, but that's all we can really say. His new costume looks great, and his render is gorgeous, but unfortunately that's all I really have to say about him. Super Smash Bros. Universe. Inklings. The first truly new characters on this list, and it is one that is definitely worth the wait. With the special ink properties like your opponent is inked and you inflict more damage, or the fact that when you have full ink you're much faster and you have access to all your moves, this makes Inkling so unique and so special, but you have to be super aware of everything that's going on the stage and on your opponent to optimize your Inkling play. This, along with the fact that when you're empty with speed you lose access to some moves, you have to manage it as you go. This gives Inklings a huge disadvantage, which is probably good for balancing because they are otherwise a very powerful character. The way I see it, when they're full of ink, Inklings will be fast and deadly, and apparently have incredible movement, especially with their dash dancing. But when they're out of ink, they're going to be a much lesser character. Luckily, it isn't hard to refill the ink as it's shown here, and I am very excited to see how they affect the meta and how they are placed on the tier list. Ridley. Last up on this list, we have one of the most interesting characters. First off, he's not too big. He was sized down to be about Charizard size, which is actually very good. He has a very short recovery despite being able to fly, and he is a very big character, making him easy to combo. He doesn't seem too slow despite his size, and he's able to hit hard and hit fast. His tilts have a lot of range, and he has a command grab as a side B, which deals a lot of damage and can immediately take center stage for you. These tools alone show the kind of potential Ridley has, and with the new movement options, he has a force to be reckoned with. Other than that, I think Ridley is a very cool character, and I think he looks very cool. He looks very interesting to play, and with his Meta Ridley costume, which is probably going to be my personal favorite alt, I think Ridley is going to be one of the most welcome additions to Smash, especially after we wanted him and fought for him and begged for him for years. Like I said in the beginning of the video, there are a lot more changes to a lot more characters, but they're all very subtle and very minute. I have a link down in the description to a Reddit thread that lists every single move difference between all of the different characters and some of the new ones, and it also has the sources for all the information, which is very good. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate that you stuck out through the end of the video, and I will see you in the next one.